Hello, thinkers. Welcome back to the Apex Mind. Today, I will be having a debate with our guest, who I'll call Five from now on. Hello, Five. Welcome to the channel.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be Five is, I believe, one of like the Abrahamic religion's followers. So I think you're a Christian.
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Okay, so hello Five, like welcome to the channel, and you can like refer to me as Apex, and I am a Hindu, a Dharmic, right? So that
Oh,
will be my point of view. So I'll be
okay.
representing the Eastern faiths, the non-Abrahamic faiths. So you can start if you want to start with the premise.
Yeah, I think like you can start with the premise.
All right. So Five and I had a disagreement on Instagram. By the way, this is the Instagram ID. We had a disagreement about what is the more logical religion among the Abrahamic faiths, which is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and the Dharmic faiths, which is majorly Vedanta, but also obviously Buddhism and Shintoism and as such. But I will mostly be speaking from the Vedantic or the more Dharmic side of things. So, Five, can you tell me why do you believe Abrahamic religions are more logical than Dharmic religions or any other religions?
Yeah, so I would like go with like Christianity being more logical as because we have different
Definitely.
different view on God. We believe in Trinity, which is the more logical form of God, we can say. And we also believe that the Christianity is more historical accurate that anyone can believe. It's not something mythological, it's pure
Okay.
history going on.
Okay. And like historical in the sense of the things with Jesus being historical, but just that, or things like Moses splitting the seas and all of that also being historically accurate.
I mean, the Jesus being accurate, because
Okay.
Moses, we don't have that much evidence because Moses existed or not, but we think they existed. But I'm talking about the Christ being existed and being
So
accurate within the 2000 years.
okay, so Jesus Christ's life and more or less the New Testament part of the Bible.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the entire cosmology, as in God creating the world in 6 7 days, and the world itself being 6,000 years old, and the whole Eden thing, and then there was the Noah's flood thing. Do you believe that all to be historically accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. But we do have evidence of the world being millions, if not billions, of years old. So how does that fit with the 6,000-year-old doctrine?
Yeah. So we believe that the when we read out the Genesis, we do not believe that like the person who's speaking in the like even if the God speaking in the speaking figuratively, that he's not meaning that the one day has the one day. We are it's just like poetic way of explaining how he created. We are not meaning something, it has it, not the literal meaning. When God says I am the light, we are not saying God is light in a such way that he's a bulb.
So metaphorical
He's
reading.
yeah, but not really. That even if we can just even if we have to reconcile, we can just say that the God once day is equal to this many years, and boom, it's like 4.6 billion
Okay.
years ago.
What
But
about the
as a
world being 6,000 years old?
what?
I think there is a notion about Earth being 6,000 years old. Like God created it in 7 days, so I can understand that perhaps that is metaphorical, and His one day is not necessarily equivalent to our understanding of what a day is. But the Earth itself being 6,000 years old, is that a claim in the Bible? Or is that
No,
something? Are
no,
you
it's
sure?
like the when they yeah, like it's in the sixth day the God creates the earth. So
And
it's still
okay. What about no mention of dinosaurs?
yeah, because we don't have to mention dinosaur because we are not talking about historic. God is explaining how he created.
Okay, so because the first beings on Earth, at least, were put there due to sin, I believe, and human beings were one of the first beings to be put on Earth. So there is no history of Earth having dinosaurs and evolution and all of that,
No, no,
right?
no. Like humans came so much after because God created humans after he created birds, animals, and stuff. He after created one day after.
So, like, do you personally support the evolution theory, or do you believe that to be bogus?
I think I'm not truly supporter of evolution because evolution has little bit fault, but I can go with it, but I'm totally not against it. But I think I'm in middle because
Uh,
it's not too accurate.
So, at the very least, we can say that dinosaurs and evolution are not mentioned in the Bible. What about the cosmology of the Bible? Because I believe for the longest time, the church believed the world to be geocentric, in the sense that Earth is at the bottom of the universe and stars revolve around the Earth, the sun revolves around the Earth, and later it was disproven. I think for hundreds, like couple of hundreds of years, maybe even 1,000 years, there were like astronomers trying to bring out the heliocentric model, in which like sun is at the center, and they were massacred, they were brutalized, they were killed, the church suppressed them. Like, it was the entire dark age of Europe, right, where the church was trying to stop scientific advancement because it did not follow the Bible. What about that?
Okay, so like the believing of the church that is in center is wasn't the church belief. It was like the Romans believe. The Roman Catholic Church believed that the it was in center. It's not in Bible that Earth is center, but as we have a Saint Thomas Aquinas using Aristotelian metaphysics, where he quotes the Aristotle being that the Aristotle says that the Earth is not in center. After he thinks that the sun revolves around the Earth, because he also on it from
Yeah.
Plato. So like Saint Thomas, Thomas Aquinas in 11th century said that the Earth is not getting revolved by any stars, but it's just the Roman Catholic having so much power that they were just using their power. So it's not relevant to our Bible because I do not go with Roman Catholic theology or any. I'm with Orthodoxy, Eastern Orthodoxy theology more of.
Yeah. The reason I bring it up
So
is I mean, because the church enforced that theory as being fact for hundreds of years, and like, it led to a lot of people and a lot of scientists being killed in the shadows, and that was based, the reason that they gave was not because like this particular philosopher gave this reasoning. They said that this heliocentric model goes against what is written in the Bible, and therefore it is blasphemous. These people were getting killed for blasphemy against the church. So how does that like work? Because for hundreds of years, people who are the, I think you would also agree that priests and people in higher positions in the church have more of a authority when it comes to deciding and interpreting the Bible proper. So if they are
yeah,
interpreting it in a way where geocentric model is the like main model, and everything else is so wrong according to them, that it counts as blasphemy. Now that science has proven all of that to be false, inaccurate, wrong, and now I don't believe changing the what do you call it, narrative about no, the Bible actually meant this. I don't think that is fair to all of those people who had died, fair to all of those people who like fought back, who were told that they were going against the Bible, and like who were killed by people who kept the religion alive, people who propagated the religion across Europe, across like different parts of the world.
yeah. So like even if we say that they killed and forced it out, but the Roman Catholic had the power all over the Europe. So it's not relevant to say the Bible was because we interrupt in the Orthodox Eastern way, like the Greek and Greek. We are most of Greek side. So when we say that it happened in the back, but as a Greek, Orthodox Church never oppose anyone because they believe it has a mystery went back then. But yeah, Roman Catholic was so much in superpower that they can do anything. So yeah, it's just about the superpower having them superpower that they can do anything. But I don't think so. There is any verse that say that Earth being in center of
Yeah, but that
in the
was based
universe.
like on their interpretation of the Bible, right? How they interpret the Bible, it was
Yeah,
geocentric, and that is the
yeah,
reason they were enforcing it.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's the Roman Catholic interpretation. We are not claiming Roman has like the true church. We are claiming Orthodox as a true church.
So
That's
that,
why the Roman had little bit interpretation wrong.
so
That's why
will
we
we,
can say that they had.
if let's say, every time scientific advancements happen, we end up changing our interpretation of the Bible and the text to in order to fit it with what are actual scientific facts. I think Occam's razor, the simplest explanation is the Bible is wrong, right? If every time new things are coming into light which are all contradicting the Bible, and we have to reinterpret it again and again and again and again, either we are incapable of understanding what the Bible even says. In that sense, it's no use reading the Bible, because if we can't understand it, what is the point? Or the Bible itself is wrong. Like, there are only two options that I see here.
Yeah, I'm not saying we are changing the perspective of the Bible. We are saying the Roman Catholic interpret in their own way. So we are not claiming their interpretation. The claiming of the Orthodox Church, we have the same interpretation from the 2000 years
I
ago.
get it. I get it.
You-
I see. I get that what you're saying is that, like, whatever the current Christianity is not the same as it was back then, right? It was the Roman
No,
Catholics.
no, no. I'm
Okay.
saying that the Roman Catholic was a separate church before the Great
Okay.
Schism,
Okay.
like
Okay.
after the Great Schism.
So, like, you're going with the Protestant view, I think. I think that is
No, I'm
the.
going with, no, I'm not going with Protestant. I'm going with Eastern Orthodox Church,
Okay.
which
Okay.
was
Okay.
the from the beginning of the Jesus Christ.
Yeah, history is a mm, it's a separate topic altogether. Would you rather want to discuss the logic of the metaphysics of the
Yeah,
Bible,
I
as
will.
in, like, what is God and all of that? I think that will be
Yeah,
more
sure.
comfortable. Okay, so can you explain to me how the Trinity works? How does it function? Because I
Oh, yeah.
believe before Christianity, Judaism itself does not believe in Trinity. Neither do the
Yeah.
Islamic people. So, like, this is a specific trait to the followers of Christ.
Yeah. So like we do believe that in the Old Testament and in the New Testament we can see the God is one, but we see in the Old Testament and New Testament that the God claiming to be three different persons. That they are claiming themselves to be God, but in the Bible it simultaneously or repeatedly says that God is one. So when we have the Trinity concept, we believe that there is a one God who
Okay.
exists in three persons. The person are not separate from each other. They are distinct from each other by their relationship. So there is a one God, there is a one essence of the God shared by three persons perfectly fully, and they are just distinct from each other.
Let's
So
try and imagine this. So, like, give me like a example that makes it clearer.
yeah, I mean, I can give you an example. If you believe it, like human has a mind, soul, and body,
Sure.
it's still a one thing. But yeah, they are still distinct from you. You are
Yeah.
not your soul. You're not your mind, and you're not your body. Yeah,
Yes.
it's one.
So, is like Jesus the body, Holy Spirit the spirit, and God the mind? Is that how it works?
I mean, we can use an analogy. We cannot use analogy as a
Or
literal,
is
but yeah,
it
we can.
I mean, the way that I see again, Islamic followers usually like think this is very illogical. I don't find Trinity itself to be too illogical, right? I think it is just a higher form of metaphysics. So the way I understand it, I'll give you two like theories that I have. You tell me if any of those you agree with. One is that
Okay.
it's the same God. It's like when God is performing different roles, he appears as different beings. It's like when I go to my office, I wear I have a certain function to perform, and I behave in a certain manner. When I'm here sitting here recording with you, I am a different sort of person. It's a different form of me. When I'm with my mother, there's a different form of me. And because God is like higher dimensionally speaking, right, he's not a human being, so he doesn't physically have to change form. He can exist as all of those three forms simultaneously also, yet being the same thing. If that makes sense. The second theory that I have is uh, imagine you're an ant, and you basically live in a 2D world, right? You just can't see height too much. So if
Yeah.
I put one foot in front of the ant and one hand at the back of the ant will think these are two completely different creatures that are existing. But it's technically all me. But because the ant does not have that sort of perspective, it cannot understand that these two are the same thing, even if I tell it.
Yeah, but yeah, that both of are not the Trinity. The first one is the heresy called modalism that the people used to believe in first century. The heresy believe that there is only one God who acts as a three person. But yeah, we do not believe that. We truly believe there is a three distinct person who are fully God. Each one is fully God, sharing one essence. The second one you mentioned is partiality, partialism, that we believe that the God is showing himself that he's he's half God. He's like his father, but father is greater than the son, and the son is not greater than
The
father. But
father.
yeah, but we truly believe that there is the one essence of the God. Every person, the three person of the Trinity, shares the one essence fully. Yet they are one because they are in unity. They are not ontologically separate or metaphysically separate. They are undivisible. They act
So
as indwelling mutual beings. They work in unity. Each fully God, but yet one because there is the one essence.
different aspects of the same being, like one god and different aspects of him. Is that like what you're
No,
getting
no,
at?
no, no.
Or
It's literally three-person distinct from each
I
other.
okay. No, I'm trying to like what I'm trying to understand here is I
Okay.
understand the similarity, right? All God, and I'm just trying to understand what makes Father the Father and not Jesus,
Yeah.
and what makes Jesus
Okay.
Jesus and not the Holy Spirit.
Okay. So I will explain to you, or as the Saint Basil explained the Trinity very well. So let's imagine we describe the what essence is and what the hypothesis.
Sure.
Hypothesis is the person. The person has the rational mind. That's why the person has rational mind. That's why he has the personhood. So there is an essence. There is the one essence that makes what it is. Meaning that I have my human nature, making me what it is that I'm a human. You
Right.
and me are human. That's but we are still of the same nature, but yeah, we are separate, not like Trinity. But when we say who you are, that's come the personhood. When I say I'm five and you're apex, there is a distinguish between us because you are not anymore me and you, even though we are
Right.
still a human being. So
But we
when
are
we
both
say the
human beings.
father, we are still both human being, but we are
Yeah.
distinct from the personhood. When we say the father is the uncreated soul course of the two person, meaning the father begets the son eternally, meaning there was no time when son wasn't. So the
Right.
relation between father and son is that the father begets the son. The relation between father and spirit is that the spirit proceeds from the father eternally. So there is a relationship between them, between each other, that the father begets and proceeds the spirit and holy spirit and the son, while the son begets from the father and spirit proceed from the father. So that is the relationship, and they are
So
distinct in who they are, not
their
what are they. They are the
existence,
same.
they're the same
Yeah,
being in the sense that we are both humans, but and they're
yeah,
like interlinked and interdependent. Their existence is interdependent on the other two's existence. So Jesus can exist because Father and Holy Spirit exist, and Holy Spirit can exist because Jesus and Father exist. And
yeah,
it's not like you can separate two and still keep the third one alive. Like they're all
yeah,
interdependent for their existence. Is this
yeah. So
not
they
closer to then polytheism then?
no, we do not, because we are saying there is a one nature, there is a one God, because the person doesn't make the God, because we are talking about the what it is. We are defining the nature. There is only one nature, because they are working in unity. They are indwelling mutual beings, meaning there is only one being, but three distinct person. So
Okay.
it's just like, even though we are human as a separate, but Trinity doesn't work like that. There is only one ontological. So they are just one essence, but three person, each fully God.
Okay. I'll like because like we are short on time. I'll give you my understanding of like the school of thought I believe in, right? And the basically my theology as well, because now we have a sort of explanation for what is going on in Christianity. So, uh, I am an Advait Vedantan, and I believe in non-duality. And the way that it functions, that I believe everyone can see very easily, is that no matter what you see, no matter what you feel, even your own self, right? Where does it exist? For example, I have a purple bottle in my hand. Now, the reason I know this purple bottle exists is because my eyes can see it, my hand can touch it. So my senses give me information, right? Through my senses, my brain is getting information. But what is going on inside of the brain? It's not like I'm actually knowing this bottle to exist. Rather, my brain is creating an image of it in my head. So, and that goes true for everything, including my own hair, my own voice, my own nose, my mother, father, you. Everything is just playing inside of what? Awareness, inside of consciousness. The moment you remove consciousness, reality as it is stops existing. So consciousness is the uh, play field in which reality is functioning as. You are not the bottle, you are not the mic, you are not the nose, you're not the hair, you're not the eyes, you're not the breath, you're not the thoughts, you're not the feelings, you are not the, like, you're nothing. You are simply awareness. That's it, right? That is uh, all it is. And there is no proving of existence of something else. So everything else by that extension is simply what we like to call maya, or Buddhists like to call it conditional reality, right? The reality only exists because of relationship between things. And as such, the
Oh,
one thing that can be proven logically is that awareness exists, and that is our understanding of what is truth, and truth is equated to God.
oh. So you are basically saying that theory. I forgot who gave it. It is like the consciousness, like material things are emergent of consciousness things, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
That you are,
That's
you think that's
that.
also.
Yeah, it's originated in our culture. Like it's originated in Vedanta, like a couple of thousands of years ago, and like slowly, like a lot of other cultures also came up with similar conclusions, and a lot of other cultures borrowed similar conclusions from like each other.
Oh, so it's that if someone is thinking, it's therefore it exists because of the consciousness thinking something about it.
Yeah, so you
So
don't think, right? Thoughts simply appear to you. If you were the thinker of
yeah,
your thoughts, you could predict what your next thought is going to be. But you can't. It just comes to you. Everything simply comes to you. You don't actually decide anything.
okay. So like let's go with one of the analogy, I guess. So let's say there is a room. You burn the candle, right? You are thinking of it, but you stop thinking and go away from the room. When you come back, you can see the candle is lighten up, and it's not like it's fully lighten up. So who was thinking between the time?
You are, or it's always you in whose, what do you call, awareness reality is playing. Because see, if what is reality dependent upon, right? When we talk of science, for example, we assume there is a world out there. There is no actual logical way of proving the existence of a universe, the existence of even a bottle, the existence of anything. There is no way of proving it. You have to assume something. For example, when you see something in front of you, let's say you're on your phone, so you see your phone. The reason you believe that phone to be real is because you believe whatever information your eyes and hands are giving you is correct, right? Is there any way for you to check whether those are correct without also assuming something? Every single time we have to assume something, and that is, in philosophy we call it an axiom. Axiom is like the foundation of a building. The least
Yeah,
assume, the axiom which assumes the least, which is closest to the truth, is that consciousness is real. If you remove that, then like you necessarily cannot prove anything is real. And the reason we believe consciousness is real is because without consciousness or without awareness, you can't even witness anything. It is the requirement to even to question consciousness, even to doubt consciousness, you have to be conscious of it.
yeah. So my question was like, you believe that the material thing emergent from the consciousness, right?
Yes, that isn't to say that like it's not. There is a reason we don't call it false. We call it conditioned reality. So reality is like share. We know that within awareness things make some logical sense. There is some thing going on, right? Because we what we notice, it's like if you play a video game, the video game itself is not real, right? But every time you like click a particular button, your character does a particular thing, so it is consistent within itself. Same goes for reality. Reality within itself is consistent, but whether the video game is real or it's a fake reality that is for you to enjoy, you don't know. You can't prove it.
So like
That
I have a question. So you say it's you are aware from the consciousness and you think that has a conditional reality. So like if you are thinking something like you have a purple bottle in your hand. So when
yeah.
you say you are thinking of it, it exists only for specific time because you are thinking.
Yes, as long as it's within your awareness. So, not even thinking. Thoughts are also a product of your mind. So,
Yeah.
the way we understand it, there is your
Yeah.
gross
So
body, which is like the
so
physical
like
body. There is
so
the
like
mind, right, in which thoughts and things emerge. Within that there is the intelligence, like the wiseness within you, and above that there is the soul, the atman, right, which is the perpetual witness, and beyond that there is the paramatman, which is the main existence. Like, just to even to believe that I am something is actually incorrect, because only the process of awareness is happening. The I
yeah.
assume there is a me.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that you say that the so I'm saying that if you stop looking around the bottle, will this bottle will stop existing?
If
Yeah.
I have no way, no, I have no way of proving it still exists.
Yeah, but I have to we have to go with logical. If it will
So, no,
stop
no, I
existing,
know,
so
I know. See. Three outcomes happen, even if we believe yes or no to something. Like, if a light bulb can turn on or turn off, there are two outcomes, but there is also a third outcome that I don't know. Right. Similarly, I would not be able to tell. The ability to answer this question is just an assumption that I make. I cannot uh, for sure say that it will still exist if I am not looking at it. It might, it so far has, because reality seems consistent. But again, I am assuming that on the basis of information that I have, that things usually remain the same on the basis of information I have gotten through my senses over the course of my life.
yeah. But I the question was like when you are in room and you candle the candle, like fire the candle and you look it and you just go from the room. When you come back it should be the same, but when you come back it's lighten up.
Yeah,
So there
because
must be someone thinking
so
of it.
no. So that is assuming that within my awareness only things can change. Things cannot change outside of it. I'm not saying that reality is definitely not there. I'm simply saying that the reality you and I witness, it exists within our awareness, right? The actual
Yeah.
candle which is burning, I don't even know what that thing is. Maybe it's actually cold, but my senses are all reversed, so that is why whenever I touch a fire it feels hot to me, but it's actually cold. Ontologically it is cold, but I assume it to be hot simply because my senses tell that to me. Maybe that candle actually grew, it actually did not shrink, it grew, but again my senses are all reversed, so I view it differently. There is
Yeah.
a concept, Kant I think gave it, like I think someone in the comments will definitely like correct me. It's called nominal reality, right? He believes that there is a reality out there, we just don't have an access to it, because the way that
Normal.
we have, yeah, we can't
Oh,
for sure say that we know anything about the universe. It is unknowable in that sense.
yeah, okay, you are going. So when you say that you don't know about reality, so if I go with the law of identity, to say something is A, it has to be A, right? For its identity. So when you say that you are viewing the candle and the candle is A for its identity, so it has to be A for everyone to exist.
So is reality then democratic? I mean, think about it like this. Imagine there is an island in which everyone does mushrooms, magic mushrooms, right? And this is the only island, like human civilization has been destroyed, right? 8 billion people have died, only like couple hundred of people are living on the island, and these people do mushrooms every single day. So they see a tortoise and it appears to them to be like bright yellow, and they all believe it to be bright yellow. And then one person comes who somehow survived the civilizational collapse, and he does not take any mushrooms, and he's like, Guys, you are all like drug addicts. This tortoise is actually green. And so, in that sense, is the tortoise really green if everyone else believes it to be yellow? How do you decide which one is true?
Yeah, but I'm going with the law of identity. I don't need the perspective. I'm saying if something is A, it has to be A in every possible world to
Yes, but there,
exist in reality.
but we
So
don't
if
have an
it change,
access to know whether or not it is a, right. We rely on our senses to interact with the world. That is the only way to interact with it. Maybe it is a,
yeah,
we can't know it.
but you
There
cannot,
is no way of knowing
but
it.
yeah,
And that is
it's not
assuming
about
it even
no.
exists, and that is assuming it even exists. Or for all you know, your awareness is making up the world. Like when you're in a dream, you imagine reality, everything makes sense within the dream, right? Things, if you throw a ball, it will fall down, everything happens the same. Can you distinguish from a dream like to reality within the dream? Can you tell me that I am in a dream? Most people can't.
I mean, yeah, you can just saying cause it's not very necessary because some moment your brain will awake you. But
Right. Like this is a fun thought experiment, but the point of the matter is, so the religion and the culture, specifically the school of thought that I come from, it simply believes that the goal is to find out truth, and this is the truth that we can 110% say for sure that it is there, which is that awareness exists. Everything else we can't know. There is, like, maybe it is true, maybe it is false,
okay,
we don't know, right? So that is why we can't claim anything to be true. The only thing that we can
yeah,
for sure claim to be true is awareness. And because again,
so,
I personal belief, I believe that across all tradition, does not matter what the theology or the cosmology is, God is a stand-in for truth. The word God simply means truth, in the way that it is used across cultures, in my opinion.
yeah. So my question is like, okay, you just believe the your concept as a mystery because you don't know for sure. So I can just so can I assume that just a red hawk fallacy?
What is that?
It is that you don't have explanation for what it is.
Is that not,
But
is that not proper logic? To claim to
no,
know
it's
something when you cannot prove it logically is
yeah,
illogical.
but you cannot. I mean, you have to consistent with the logic. I mean, when I ask if you, it's contradicting the main laws like the law of identity, law of non-contradiction, or
How does
even
it?
any other.
How does it like?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I will just go with the Libiano's law. Do you think the thing what it is identical to its essence to exist or being has the same thing? If it's not identical to essence, it will just keep changing. So reality will be inconsistent. Like it will just keep changing because it's not identical to himself.
Essence itself requires certain assumptions to be taken, right? Uh, when you start with thinking, uh, what you do in first principles reasoning is you remove anything that has any sort of assumption. So for example, even the law of non-contradiction, the way it, that logical axiom came into existence is how did it came into existence? We noticed how things behave in nature, we drew a mathematical equation for it, and from that we derived a principle, right? Ultimately it was again based on our sensory information, even what you noticed around the world. Same with math. That is the reason even math is not considered like truth in this particular school of thought, in this particular religion. That is the reason why what do you call, uh, even laws of logic would not work beyond a certain point. What we This is an experiential reality. The way that I define truth, or like I understand truth to be, truth ought to be self-evident, it ought to be unfalsifiable, and it should have no assumptions. The moment you start taking assumptions, it has a problem. So even with logical axioms, there are like certain assumptions of how reality behaves, and when you break it down, it like ends up rooting yourself like in senses. So is there like any
Oh,
thing that
wait,
can
okay.
like again, without assuming awareness to be real, can you like examine it, like can you question awareness without assuming it to be real already?
I mean, it depends what you pick out as awareness.
Right. I mean, so it's
Okay,
yeah, you
my
go on.
question, my last question is that there. Do you believe that the reality is identical to the God?
Tough question. Mostly because it all plays within the awareness, right? So there are two schools of thought. There is the uh, like Shaivism school of thought in this Kashmiri Shaivism, which believes this is just like because everything plays in awareness, right? And no one is really deciding anything; it just happens. So we assume awareness to be truth itself, and therefore this reality becomes truth's play, divine play, right? Because it is happening and we can't figure out where the source of it is, but we know there is a source, which is awareness. We don't know anything about the nature of awareness beyond assuming awareness already, and that is why the reality becomes God's play, if that makes sense. So it could, but it is within God, but it is God's play.
Okay, so it's not identical to God. So,
Yeah, some traditions, although do believe that uh, all of it to be God, in the sense that because everything is within awareness, like it's like organs within my body. That is how they view it, and that is why everything becomes God. So it really depends, but the main there is a thing that you can probably Google. It's called Sat Chit Anand, right? Which is like truth, awareness, bliss.
oh, is it that? Is it
Yeah.
that
So
quote that the
yeah, so truth is
two?
awareness, and that leads you to genuine bliss. Because you're not doing anything, right? It's like watching a movie. It's like we watch in
Oh yeah.
VR. Yeah, but
Oh, I know this quote.
yeah. So
Oh yeah,
because
it's one of the quotes from your. It say there's a two bird on branch. One is watching and one is doing.
but doing itself like becomes a doing assumes a doer, right? There is a
Yeah, so
doer,
that's
and that assumes individual identity, which doesn't actually exist because there is no way to prove identity, any
no.
identity.
It's like one of my friend who is from your religion. It says that the two birds are in the branch, and he says that the one who is doing it's like the soul, and the one who is watching is the God.
Yeah, so soul is in my the school of thought I follow. Soul is assumed to also be false, like in the sense that there is only the divineness, like only awareness exists, a universal awareness. It's like how you would describe God, right? Only God
Yeah.
exists, and all of this talk about me being a different person, you being a different person, is just our layer of illusion that is put in front of us to so that we can enjoy this game, and we don't necessarily like what do you call, like, so that reality can play, right? It's like role playing in a sense for
Oh,
God.
so like okay. So do you believe that the God existed before he created something? So he was alone in the universe. Can we say that?
uh, Before awareness, there was nothing,
Yeah.
nothing,
So
then
that's what I'm.
awareness, then everything else.
So I'm saying that the God was in somewhere we don't know, but before he created any.
Yeah,
So do
we
you
don't
believe
know.
the God was
There
alone?
is actually don't know. The in Rig Veda, there is like a Nadia Sutra, which basically states that. By the way, like just to be very clear, in this whole cosmology, there is the existence of deities also, right? Ethereal beings and
Oh,
such. Ultimately, philosophically, in like the school of thought I follow, Advait Vedant, it does not believe in deities in the sense that it does not concern with them, right? It does not comment on them at all. He's like, sure, maybe, but a lot of schools believe in them. So the Nadia Sutra, it basically states that who knows where all of this
oh
came
yeah,
from. Maybe the
oh
gods
yeah,
created this, or maybe
or
this,
maybe
or maybe even they don't know where this came from. Maybe he
oh
knows who is above all else. This is referring to truth, right? Awareness, or perhaps he also doesn't know.
oh yeah,
So,
I know that. It's like
so
from the Rig Veda
yes,
one.
so
I forgot the number.
yeah, Nadia Sutra. I
Yeah, but
think the point is we when we mention he, we don't actually give it an identity. We're like, awareness is considered, right? Awareness is not a person, awareness is not a being, awareness is awareness.
Wait, wait.
So we
Okay, I need to confirm something. So when you say there is a God, do you believe the God is a person?
uh, truth god, no, not
Oh,
a person. Ultimate god, not a person. There are lower
wait, you
gods
do
and
not
such, but
wait. So you don't, huh? Wait, you do not believe the person. God
in the
has a
sense,
personhood.
God has everything technically, right? Because I am also existing within God. God
Yeah,
contains
but
everything, but God itself, or the truth itself, I would rather use the word truth. Truth is simply awareness.
I'm saying that truth is one of the attributes of Himself. But I'm saying
Truth is the ultimate
when
attribute.
you say
Like, it is the bedrock of everything, and everything plays into it. So even personhood, beinghood, essence, all of it just dances within awareness. So awareness is what we're considering the like. If you've read DC comics, there is like the source wall of the universe.
yeah,
So a metaphysical way
okay,
of a source wall is awareness, like the final destination. You cannot dig further than that. That is all there is, and that is why it is truth.
yeah. But when we say that awareness is itself the God, we have to establish what you are trying to say, because we believe that it's one of the attribute of God. We do not believe it's the whole of
No,
the
no, no,
God.
no. Uh, See, the point of non-duality ultimately ends up being that everything has to be one. But awareness is definitely truth. Everything else, my existence can be true and my existence can be false. Awareness is definitely there. So that is that for sure we know about reality. Everything else we're not sure of, but it is, my existence also is within awareness, if that makes sense, right? It's a difficult concept to understand, mostly because the core axiom is that awareness exists, and that is therefore truth. uh,
So like awareness is the truth. So I'm trying to say
that's
that
Yeah, yeah,
awareness.
and see, it does not, there is no separation as such, right? Even
Yeah,
I am within awareness, right? The way that I understand my existence to be is not how it is, but it is in some form.
but I think you are just obfuscating the itself, because like if you are saying God is awareness, I mean, yeah, it's one of the attribute or the energy of the God, but you are saying that He doesn't possess the personhood at the same time.
uh, he has personhood, like I have coins in my wallet, if that makes sense. I am walking down the street, I have a, in my pocket there is like a coin purse,
Yeah,
and
I
it has
got it, but
coins. So that's how like personhood is there within God. Have you
wait,
seen like
so
like anime called Doraemon, like?
yeah.
So a fun way is like, God has everything. So he has his four-dimensional pocket in which everything you can imagine, you, even your thoughts, your feelings, everything is contained within it.
Oh, so okay, so my question is like, I need to understand your God view, because do you believe that the God has its essence? Essence is something because He exists. His essence is existence.
Only he exists.
Oh my God! But you need to
Yes.
define what you mean by only, because you're
Or
just
only in
going.
the sense that for 110% sure awareness exists, and that is truth, right? And everything exists within awareness, but it is all conditional. Just like how my imagination is conditional, right? Within my mind I can imagine an apple, I can imagine a purse, I can imagine anything. Are those real technically from my point of view? Not really. But are those real within the confines of my own imagination? Yeah. Like, within the
I mean,
imagination the apple is real, right? Similarly, this imagine like a very, like in Puranic scripts, there is like a metaphor that is used, that this is all Vishnu's dream, right? The
yeah.
entire reality is Vishnu's dream. So that is how they are trying to explain the awareness thing to people who like, uh, because it's experiential, for
I
sure.
mean, yeah. I think half of your statements are ambiguous because you're not really sure what it is.
No, it's
Well,
I know what it is. It's simply a difficult concept to put into words because words distort, and it's like a pre-linguistic awareness that you have of this. So once
I
you
mean,
get
yeah,
it, you get it. But the moment I start to give analogies to explain it, the moment I start to, let's say, start drawing diagrams to explain it, I am constraining something formless into a form. It is formless even in trying to explain it.
yeah. So what my question is like, so do you believe the awareness is above the logic?
Yes.
So if even if I contradict this state
you
or
you
your
can
theology or
you
whatever,
Yeah, you can use logic to perhaps reach till awareness, but to finally experience awareness you will have to let go of logic also. It's like a
wait,
constraint.
okay, my question is that the if we contradict this belief within the logic, do you believe it wouldn't be anything else? It
It
transcends
wouldn't matter.
the
Contradictions is like try and contradict it. It will still end up confirming that awareness is real, or
so
like
you are
it's the
just
truth.
claiming that there is some transcendental, you don't need logic, it be above logic.
Yeah, you
So
can see. I can use logic to help you get to a like close enough to it, right? But ultimately, it is the first thing you assume when you interact with the world. It is the
and what
first
I'm saying,
thing. Yeah, even
what
when
I'm
you
saying, the
make a
belief
statement.
has to be logical. It has to be logical to believe.
uh
If it
what
if it's
law
not,
Yeah, logic itself is conditional. Like see, logic is an ultimate tool when trying to decipher material reality, when trying to decipher metaphysical concepts, right? But when you're trying to like go on the root of everything, it has to also be the root of logic itself, right? So it's
yeah,
like
but
trying to do surgery on yourself. That is the problem, that because even logic follows logical axioms which have certain rules which are based on how we have understood reality, and we have made it so that we can almost certainly dissect anything in the material existence, anything that can exist as a concept, and anything which is even mathematical in nature. We can more or less use logic to decipher everything. But
yeah. So
logic is
what?
not God. Logic is not
Yeah, we
the
do not
ultimate
logic
reality,
is
right?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are not saying that. But when we say that there is a human being belief, there's a human being cognitive ability to think or perceive or something to do. When we use the metaphysics or ontological or rather our Eastern belief or the scholastic belief of the Patrick
Right.
school, when we say there is a reality, we demand it to be logical. If it's not logical, it's either does not exist or it's not real. Because it
Uh,
has to be logic for the material world to exist in the immaterial world.
I'll there is the way that we like reach this reality is by doing the process of niti is like you start looking at stuff around you and you start saying not this, not that. Like you what are but if I look at the bottle, I am not the bottle, right? So I remove that. I am not the hand, I remove that. I keep doing that every waking moment. I keep doing that until I can reach no longer. So it's a deconstructing reality to reach to the first axiom. Logic
Yeah,
works when you are already above what you are trying to dissect. The reason logic works is because it can stand above the mathematical equation that it is trying to dissect. If you can take a perspective, logically speaking, beyond awareness and then dissect it, then logic can work. But logic itself is bound by the existence of awareness. It will always exist below awareness. That is the reason it cannot question it, because even to apply logic, even to start speaking, even to start thinking, you have to assume awareness. Logic
yeah,
assumes awareness implicitly. So even logic has a philosophical axiom which is awareness.
yeah, but still it doesn't contradict or bound the logic. Because bound logic is something we need as a concept like the reasoning study. When we say that it's a logical fundamental or the something is incoherent, we believe that it does not should exist because it's incoherent. Because like if something is not logically true, I'm not saying we are not talking about catastrophic ability, catastrophic thing or apophatic thing of the God. We are talking about the category, what God can be. We are not talking about how God did this. We are unaware of. That's beyond something. We do not answer that if
Yeah.
miracles happen. If it's about the logic. Yeah, it's about the logic. But when we say the God is there, we need to be have a logical thinking that it should be all rational. If it's not rational, therefore it cannot be a powerful being to exist if it's literally incoherent to be exist. Because like if logic is there, we should determine or say that the God we are talking about should be a logically perfect.
When I
You cannot just
yeah,
we cannot just say it's beyond the logic, so we can say anything. We are saying to determine something. We need logic to make it perfect. We can just say, okay, I don't know. You're just going with. I already say it's a res post rex head fallacy, which means that you don't have explanation for something, so you just say it is what it is, or you can just say you have some supportable explanation which you cannot explain to fit within the logic.
I mean, no matter what situation, or like example you can give me, uh, in trying to question it, ultimately it will always assume by its nature that awareness exists. When you say that something ought to be logically consistent for it to work, right? How are you aware of the existence of logic? How are you when you do how, where does logic appear within? It appears within awareness. The 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 basic, most fundamental way in philosophy that we dissect anything is that we have to take a higher perspective. For example, if you are questioning the senses, right, the five senses, if you already assume them to be true, like, can I look at this purple bottle and confirm it is purple or not just by my own senses? Like, just by my own eyes, my own hands, can I for sure know whether it or not it is purple? I would require something beyond my senses in order to double check it, right? Similarly, for awareness to be double checked, you will have to take a higher perspective. Can logic exist outside of awareness or above awareness? The answer is no, because even to assume logic, even to think of its existence, is to think of its existence within the within awareness itself. The So that is the reason you can't what do you call
Yeah,
it,
but
dissect it. It's not it's simply the nature of how it itself works, how the things itself work, not a, what do you call, not a slippery way of getting out of it, right? Not a problem of dissection. You can try and you can try and question awareness, for sure, go ahead, question awareness, but within that sentence or within what you're thinking, are you already assuming it to be true? How can you do circular reasoning then? It is illogical to do circular reasoning, right? You can't already assume awareness and then try and prove awareness. That's illogical. So even within, see, and that logic itself, that circularity, that principle itself exists within awareness. That is why it's an experiential truth, yes, but you can reach it through like breaking things down, through removing assumptions. Keep removing assumptions, keep removing to see the final substrate of reality. If it is awareness, well and good. If it is something else, do let me know.
yeah, so like what I'm saying is that the logic is something we determine the material things, that the material thing is from the immaterial things, right? So to have something we know perfect, we know the purple exists because it's a material thing, because it depended on the immaterial thing to exist. So therefore, it needs to be exist. That's what we are implying the logic here. We are not saying that it exists because I think, therefore it exists. We are saying it exists because there is an immaterial thing, all time thinking about it. So therefore, it exists. And when
uh,
you say there's a circle reasoning is illogical, I think there is no way you're saying circle reasoning is logical. That's like say triangle needs three angles to be triangle. It's a circular and it's illogical. Circle reasoning depends on what circle reasoning you are trying to go with.
I mean, the one of the greatest philosophers, Rene Descartes, even said, right, I doubt, I I think about doubting,
Therefore,
and therefore I am. Right? He was
yeah,
like, I keep questioning shit. Right? Oh, is this real? Is this real? Wait. To even question, I need to first assume my own existence, and therefore I must be real. So
yeah,
even
but
he used
yeah,
that. You can't even like logically dissect that. But we can, because he is assuming an individual self. That is problematic. Because again, like it's it's a whole different thing about why Atman is different from Brahman. Anyway, I think we're like running out of time. If you want like a final like something to say, like say that, and then like I'll wrap this up. Okay.
yeah. So my final question was that do you believe that the awareness has a love, or do you believe he created universe out of love, or he just simply created because he was bored?
Awareness is simply awareness as we understand it, and beyond that, if
So
there is
that,
something to it, it's simply inaccessible to us.
so do you believe there is no salvation in your thinking?
There is salvation. Salvation is in realizing truth. We call it moksha. Once you realize the truth of the universe, that everything plays within the consciousness, you don't have a fear of death. You don't care about suffering, because everything is simply a divine play, right? Nothing
Yeah,
is being done to you. You are not going to get any pleasure. All of this is simply a movie that you're watching. Maybe your movie is a shit movie, but it's simply a movie, right? It's not a big deal. So that's the state of enlightenment. That is what Gautam Buddha did. That is what
oh,
great sages did. That is like, once you see, I talk about awareness like this, right? But I am not enlightened. The reason I'm not enlightened is it's different to theoretically talk about it, know it, and to have like imbibed that within yourself. Even within Christianity, someone who for sure has completely imbibed within them that Jesus is going to save them 110%, that person, I'm sure, lives a completely different life even when they get in pain than anyone else.
yeah.
So
So
that
like,
is the main thing
do,
with enlightenment. Yeah.
so like my like final question, like, do you consider that your knowledge is not that high in your way view? But we can say that it. I mean, we have to go with the logic within. Because if you just say I don't know, because it's beyond the logic or something, we don't question it. But can we just say that it's just a fallacy attempt to prove something
To
which is
know,
not true?
no, no,
I mean, if it's contradicting the logic, you are just saying
it's
it's above the. We need to define the term what you are trying to say. But
yeah.
if you
I
just say simply because awareness is something we cannot know for sure, the reality we don't know, just
We know
because
for
you
sure
think
that awareness is
awareness
the
is there,
final
yeah,
substrate that we can like get to, and that is why we are only saying that it is truth. Everything else exists within it. That is for sure. Beyond that, if there is a reality beyond awareness, if there are things that is simply inaccessible to us as we are right now. And a quote, I'm not sure where it is from. Perhaps I randomly made it, but the thing is, only the enlightened and the foolish claim to really know anything. And I for
yeah.
sure am not enlightened. That is for real, right? I hope I do get to that one day, but that's not the case anywhere. Anyway, I
Yeah, so,
think
yeah.
if you have anything else to say, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's just the question was that your salvation is just to know the truth, right? So
To imbibe the truth
awareness,
within yourself, not simply to know it, but to like live it.
yeah. So just know it. I think it's kind of merology depended on the part you know only something.
I mean, I know, like, doctors know that cigarettes are going to cause them harm. They still smoke cigarettes, right? To know it and to
Yeah,
live it are like completely different things.
yeah, but still, I think it's better to know something logically. But yeah, my question, like the last thing I want to say that like if you say that it's just about knowing the truth, I think the thing you are thinking as the ultimate truth it has to be literally flaw in my opinion, because it's something has to be. perfectly perfect, for it has to be love. It has to be everything. Just because he's above that, you created hierarchy upon hierarchy to establish awareness.
No, I'm in
You,
only in order to communicate it. I need to do that. When you live it, you
yeah,
simply are aware. Even if I say some random shit like blah, 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 even that is simply a play within awareness, right? It uh,
yeah.
still, no matter what I do, no matter what I say, even if I sit silently, all of it affirms the existence of awareness, because all of it plays within awareness. Like even this conversation plays within it. It's the ultimate substrate of reality, whatever that is, right? Anyway, I
I think
think
yeah, I think
the recording time is going too much, so
okay, okay.
just to close it, this was a fun conversation. And
Yeah,
for the
sure.
viewers, even if people have differing opinions and come from different cultural backgrounds, the commonality between all of us is a desire for truth, is a desire for knowing, and is a desire for noticing patterns. So you should also, sitting at home, start noticing patterns, because patterns, they're everywhere.